Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone's doing good. Let me just get the chat open so I can see. Alright, excellent. Alright, so I wasn't going to do this. But then I was like, I want to do this. And so I asked on stream on Friday if this would be okay to do. And so now we're doing it. Real quick, I just want to show this off real fast. Hello. So I've played this a couple of times since we played last. So, here's our completed save file, right? Here's what we've been doing. We got Cray, we got me, we got Grun, we got Ken, right? And then I was like, I wonder if I can do this faster. I wonder if I can like beat this again really quick. So literally in one sitting, I made a new game with 4 monks named Gonna Mess You Up. And I was like, all right, let's just see how far this goes. And the reason I did that was because monks have the highest attack power in the game. Like they have the highest raw attack power in the game. They don't require any like shopping stuff. They don't use weapons, they don't use armor, they don't use magic. And so you just go and you beat the crap out of things. Now the big problem they have is if something is even slightly physical resistant, they do basically no damage. If you cast slow on them, they do basically no damage. If and more critically, they have no magic defense at all. If you hit them with a spell, they take hundreds of damage, and it's a major problem. Having said that, even with having to stop to grind twice in order to overpower physical defenses from like the Lich and Tiamat, I still got all the way to Chaos in half the time our playthrough took. And I was like, okay, how can I refine this? How can I make this even better? And that's where I got the idea to supplement 2 of those monks with red mages. And the reason I did that was because red mages can cast both white magic and black magic. But most critically of all, they can cast the most important buffing spells. They can cast haste and they can cast temper. And those are really important because for 2 good reasons. Haste essentially doubles the attack power of your character if you attack with a physical attack. It basically turns what would normally be like a 4 hit into an 8 hit. Like it's massive bonuses. Temper also increases attack power, but here's the thing. While haste you can only cast it once and it counters slow, which is what monks are weak against. Or weak to, rather. They're weak to being slowed. Haste counters that. But more important is temper. And it's important because temper has no cap. Temper can be stacked. Temper can increase attack power with no upper limit if you just keep on casting it. And so, I gave that a shot. And I knew immediately that that was going to work when I was fighting the pirates with Bick. You know, the 7 or whatever pirates that you fight with Bick. And I tempered twice, and they were doing like over 100 damage against like essentially the second boss. Like it was so easy, and you learn temper. So you learn temper in Provoca, the town with Bick. So that's that save file. Now, admittedly, this isn't up to Chaos yet. However, this is past the end of the first stream. This is them basically at the Temple of Earth, where you fight the Lich. So, after Bick, after Astos, after getting the nitro powder, after opening the ship up to go to the outer area. All of that in an hour. I probably could beat this game in about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours with these guys. So I would be cutting down the time, and more crucially, they would actually be able to beat Chaos, because these guys just can't beat Chaos at all. The problem is that Chaos is smart. He's not a enemy that you necessarily are designed to defeat. He knows how to adapt. Chaos is like, oh, so you're attacking me with physical attacks? Well, I'm going to cast slow on you. I'm going to cast haste on myself. I am going to increase my magic defense. I am going to cast magic. Oh, casting magic works. I'm going to cast more magic. It very quickly spirals out of control, and monks just are not capable. They have their physical attack power, which is very, very high, and that's it. And that's just not enough to beat Chaos, because Chaos adapts. These guys have a better chance, and will probably defeat Chaos eventually. But that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for today. I just wanted to show that off, because I'm having fun doing that. What we're here today to do is we're going to do the last little bit that we need to do in order to complete the game. So there's 4 treasure chests missing in the Chaos Shrine. So we got to go back to the Chaos Shrine and we got to go find it. And then we got to go fight the War Mech. The War Mech is the only enemy that I didn't fight. So we're going to load in with our dudes. Let me open the map. So yeah, we can see here on the list, you can see how many chests each place has. Chaos Shrine, we're missing 4. Everywhere else is done. Just serendipitously wasn't missing anything anywhere else. Whoops. And then there was an enemy I was missing up in the desert area. Up here near the Mirage Tower, I was missing the Tyrannosaur, and I managed to get that really, really quick. Like, it wasn't even worth showing, because it took, like that. Like, it was done. I also needed to get all my characters level 50, because I actually beat Chaos before hitting level 50. I probably shouldn't have even done that. I probably should have gotten at least to level 50 before fighting Chaos. That was my bad. But I won anyway, so who cares? Anyway, so what we're going to do is, because I originally did not know that temper stacks, I never gave my characters temper. I thought it was a useless frickin' spell, because I'm like, oh, increasing attack power by 14? Like, who gives a shit about that? Like, who cares? Like, do you see how much attack power everybody has? What the hell is the point of, like, adding 14 to 64? Like, that's not gonna do enough to care about. Little did I know that it has no upper limit, and you can just do it forever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get that spell, and I'm going to teach it to my guys, because I feel like the War Mech won't have an elemental weakness. And so Temper is probably going to be more useful than casting any sort of elemental spell. And I just so happen to have a spare spot. Honestly, I should replace that one, because raising evasion was not nearly as useful as I thought it would be. So here's the thing. Evasion casting with Invis and Invisra also has no upper limit. The problem is that evasion is basically worthless. Like, you would think that having max evasion means that you just don't get hit. But it turns out in practice, that's just not so. You still get hit. As evidenced by my characters having even the slightest amount of accuracy, means that they basically just never miss. Like, Cray is a bad example. He has 98%. And Grun also has 97% accuracy. But, like, even Dan and Ken, like, even we almost never miss in this game. I think we've missed, like, twice. Even with blindness. still can't miss. And so the enemy also, like, enjoys the luxury of never missing. I don't know why I ever, like, bothered not maxing everything out when I could have. Okay, so let's go back to the Chaos Shrine and see if we can find those last couple of treasure chests. I have no idea where they are, but we'll find them. And so yeah, generally the plan is going to be from now on using Temper in order to empower Red Mage and Fighter so they do even more damage. Like, they already do ridiculous damage. There's no upper limit, so why not just do even more? Now, I'm pretty sure there's no... Actually, no. The treasure chest might just be in this first room, because... Couldn't I not enter these areas because they were locked? I seem to remember I could have come back here when I got the Mystic Key, and I just never did. So I think that's where the chests are. So we might be done with this fairly quickly. Which means we can spend all of our time hunting for the War Mech, which is a super rare spawn and might take us a good while to find. Alright, so now I can use this to look. Empty, 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 empty. Okay, so we've already gotten these. I love that you can do that, by the way. I say it every time, but it really is just, like, massively useful. I kind of wish they carried that over to future games, because that is so nice. It is a luxury that will be dearly missed. Whee! Alright, so it wasn't there. I don't think there are any treasure chests on this map. Yeah, no treasure chests on this map, which means we just gotta go looking for them. By the way, the music that I was playing under the starting soon screen was from Stranger of Paradise, and it's the music from the DLC where you get to fight the Emperor from Final Fantasy II, and I thought that was very poignant. I thought that was very relevant to today because of us potentially starting Final Fantasy II today if I can get this stuff done with any kind of efficiency. By the way, I never figured out what the hell these are. I never figured out the point of these. What are these here for? They're everywhere in this place, and they seem like they should be useful. They're just not. Oh, you know what? I should actually set up my proper rotation. Instead of just attacking everything. Especially if I'm going to be fighting this many enemies. Yeah. Healing him. And black robe. There. By the way, sorry if I'm a little ratty today. I am kind of sick. Not as sick as my sibling is, though. Sibling decided to go out and party over the weekend and came back and got us both very sick. I got better very, very quickly. They did not. they have only gotten worse. It's still just like a bad cold, but they are kind of like down while I'm starting to get back up already. But I am still a little under the weather, so I'm sorry if it's like, you know. I did get snacks, though. Alright, so that way is not the way. Let's go this way. And we'll just go through the whole dungeon until we find those 4 chests we're missing. That's the plan. Alright, so not on this map. Or at least not in this room. I do think that it goes to show just how good this game is, that I've already played it like 2 more times. Like, Final Fantasy 1 just is timeless in a way that, like, I don't think can be overstated. It's just so much fun. I love simple RPG mechanics. Like, maybe I'm weird, maybe I'm boring, but just the idea of, hey, I've come to a new town. There's a new item shop, there's a new weapon shop, there's a new armor shop, there's a new magic shop. I will go to all these places. I will inspect them and learn all the new magic, and then I will like do the quests, and I will help the guys and talk to the NPCs who will all give me hints as to where I should be going next. Rinse, repeat. There's something, I don't know, just a little magical about that I just really, really, really love. And old RPGs did that, and they all did it slightly differently, but none of them felt bad for having done so. It felt really nice. And I miss it, you know? You don't get that kind of simplicity anymore. Everything has like a special system. Everything has special rules. Everything has to be unique, and sometimes there's just something comforting about a design that is timeless. Maybe that's a controversial opinion, I don't fucking know, but it is mine. Alright, so not... Hold on. Boop. Are there chests on this map? No. No chests on this map. Alright. Then the search continues. I'm kind of surprised that casting Blizzara on this group actually worked. Ice resistance instead of ice absorption. Which, thinking about it, makes sense. Like, elemental absorption should be a rare thing, if ever. I do like those moments where you can actually, like, finagle it into causing absorption. Where, I forget what game it is, but there's a game where you can incrementally increase resistance to certain elements, and you can actually go to above 100%, and when it hits over 100%, that's when it starts absorbing. And I think that's a good way of thinking about elemental resistances and absorptions. And I think that's cool and fun. I don't remember what game it is, though. I think it might be Final Fantasy VIII, but I'm not sure. Wait. Alright, new area. Where mightn't there be treasure chests? I don't see any doors here. Maybe there, but I doubt it. Especially since I can't see them on the map. If I can't see the chests on the map, there's a good chance they're not there. But I'll look anyway. Zoom. Zoom. Nope, not here. Okay, then we keep looking. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to go this deep in to find these treasure chests, because it's going to be a pain getting back out. Because I don't have, what is it, Ninja, who has the spell to teleport out? It's kind of annoying. I wish there was an item, like an escape rope type thing, where I could teleport out of the dungeon. Whee! Oh wait, there's a door there. Maybe? Unlikely, but maybe. Chests, chests, no chests. I wonder where they are. Ow. Out of here. Alright, chests, 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 breasts. I mean chests. What is with this room? This room is weird. Very strangely designed. Hat. Get out of here. Ooh, this seems promising. Doesn't this feel like it's a puzzle? Chests! 1, 2, 3, 4. They're down there. How do I get down there? There's doors. Okay. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Found them. Oh. Oh, okay. It just hit me what I just did. Oh. Oh god. That makes me think of back in Chrono Trigger where they did the victory music and then it sort of went because of Dalton. Fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, I love pistachios. Pistache. You seen that bird? That I think he won an award for like being like one of the smartest parrots because he like can name things and stuff. You see him all over TikTok and YouTube Shorts now. Very cool. Love it. I remember talking with someone. It's like I would fight them for that pistachio. I love my pistachios. It has been suggested to me to get a bird, but I don't think I could handle it. They seem loud and annoying, and I I don't think I could put up with that for too long. For a while, sure. Protect ring! Wow, that's useless! What the fuck? Alright. So now I gotta go all the way down here. Watch me open one of these chests and it's like, a potion. You can't carry more of those. Or like a cottage or whatever. Something I literally just maxed out. Or maybe they're all just useless pieces of equipment. Honestly, I kind of hope it's a new weapon for Ken, because Ken is the only one that doesn't have some sort of legendary weapon. I mean, I've got Thor's hammer. Cray has Excalibur. Grun has the Masamune. It's just poor old Ken. No weapon. Or, since he's a black mage, maybe it would be better if it was a robe or something. Like, super mega awesome robes. Sasuke's blade. Isn't that for ninjas? Can you wear it, though? No, you could wear a ruby armlet, though. How come you weren't wearing... Oh, it's because I was having them wear the black robes, because, they guard against time irregularities, which is worth the 1 evasion point difference. Nope. Sasuke's blade is, in fact... for ninjas. Let's look at it, though. I actually have 2 of them now. I vaguely remember... Who was it in this game that can dual wield? Is it ninjas? Do ninjas dual wield? I thought it was all melee type characters. I thought warriors and red mages could both dual wield, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Also, hi Ken! How you doing? We love to see Ken. We're always happy when we see Ken. I don't know why I vaguely remember that being the case, but I guess they changed it for the Pixel Remaster and just, like, increased the power of your normal-ass weapons. I don't know. Anyway, so just as a quick recap, we are getting the chests that we were missing. I found them. So now we're getting the chests. And this should get me the all chests in the game achievement. And then we are off to go hunt down the war mech. Did you know that the war mech in Final Fantasy 1 was so memorable it became a running theme for all future Final Fantasies, and that is the inspiration for things like the jewel weapons in Final Fantasy VII and the Ultima weapon and the Omega weapon and shit. All of those mechanical super bosses that we fight in all the other Final Fantasies were based on the war mech because of how memorable it is. Because it's just this rare spawn that may as well be a super secret boss, but that was unintentional. It just kind of ended up being that way. And they were like, huh, let's just do that on purpose from now on. And so all of those other weapons owe their existence to the war mech. Wait, it was a rare mob? Yeah. The war mech that we're gonna go fight is a very rare spawn. Some people report that they actually have to grind for like 20 levels, not because of how difficult it is, but because that's just what ended up happening when they were like trying to find it. It's not a secret boss in the traditional sense. It is just a rare spawn that accidentally is way, way, way stronger than anything else. And actually, this game has a couple of those rare spawns that are technically very, very strong for their area. It's just that the war mech is the only one that's super memorable. The other one is the Tyrannosaur, which we already fought. We didn't even, like... We just kind of ran into it without thinking about it and moved on because we were just so overpowered. Alright, so we got the achievement. Yay! We've got all the chests in the game. Woohoo! We did it! Now we gotta go find the war mech. And that's why I was saying that this stream might have Final Fantasy II in it. Because the war mech takes forever. Like I said, some people take hours to make it spawn. Although one guy said that he accidentally, like, on his way to go fight Tiamat normally, ran into it twice and hit a game over each time and was pissed. So, some people just have all the luck. So it's really up in the air how long it'll take us. It might take us 10 minutes, it might take us an hour. There's really no way of knowing. And that's why, if we fight the war mech and beat the war mech, then we'll get all the achievements and we'll move on to Final Fantasy II. If it takes us a long time, then we're just going to be chilling for a while. And that's going to be this stream, and we'll start Final Fantasy II on Wednesday. But I'm optimistic about our odds. Hopefully it'll be okay. But first, we gotta get the hell out of here. I was not expecting to go this deep into the Chaos Shrine. By the way, I very recently increased the dosage of my weight loss prescription that has the B12 in it that gives me energy. And it's been causing some weird side effects, man. Nothing like overly horrible or anything. It's just that I've been burping a lot. I think it's been like giving me some, like, it's not gas really, because it's not painful or anything. Like, I'm not like feeling bloated or anything like that. It's just every once in a while a little bit of a pops out, and I'm like, okay. Just out of nowhere for no reason. So if that happens during the stream, I apologize. I'm not trying to be, like, disgusting. I kind of can't control it. It's not like it's unpleasant or anything. It's just that, you know, it just happens. That's why I called it a weird side effect, because normally that sort of thing comes with feeling bloated, feeling gassy in general, IBS. None of that. It's just every once in a while, just a little bit of a... And then we move on. I don't know. Alright, we gotta get the hell out of this place. Jeez. Why does it gotta be such an inconvenience? Ha! White dragon ran away. Smartest white dragon I've run into. I have pistachios. They're delicious. I love pistachios. In fact, I love pistachio ice cream. I went to Italy once and got pistachio gelato. God, that was good. That was so good. I would love to have that again. Where am I going? Ah, right there. Going through this place backwards feels weird. But no, I love pistachio. I love pistachio ice cream. I love pistachio gelato. Pistachio tasty. It's probably my favorite nut. Up there with cashews. Cashews is interesting, though. Cashews come from a fruit. Did you know that cashews come from a fruit? Did you know that? I believe cashews also are in the same plant family as deadly nightshade, or is it poison ivy? It's one of those two. Either way, it's like weirdly in the same family as something that's really not something you want to be putting in your mouth, and yet it's a fruit and also delicious. Cashews are weird, man. But they're tasty. I think it's cashews that I'm thinking of. I know cashews come from a fruit. They're at the bottom of the cashew apple. But I vaguely remember that they are also part of the either Deadly Nightshade family or Poison Ivy family. I just can't remember which one. And I think it's that, or it might be some other nut. It's something like that. I don't want to be spreading misinformation. I just don't remember. I have too much dumb knowledge in my head. Regardless, pistachios are tasty. Excellent. Ah! Get out of my way! Cray should have been a ninja so we could teleport the fuck out of here. And still had high attack power. Not as high as the warrior, obviously. Are we almost out of here? I think this is it. Honestly, I shouldn't be complaining. Every bit of experience is more experience for fighting the war mech. Although, I don't think it'll be a problem. I think once we find it, we'll be able to kill it pretty easily. We just gotta find the damn thing. Alright. Back to the present! It's a shame we never get to see the 5 heroes in their original form in the normal Final Fantasy 1. I was kind of disappointed in how wonky Stranger of Paradise was. I kind of wished it was about the story of the 5 heroes. And, like, it ends in tragedy of them turning into bats because of Garland, but no such luck. Although, the premise of it being about Garland being the Black Knight was also just nice. Like, it was a good premise. I just feel like they went a little bit too out there with the lore. Like, too timey-wimey bullshit. I don't know. It's just weird to follow. It deserved to be a more straightforward plot. I mean, even this game, Final Fantasy 1 only gets weird and timey-wimey right at the end. That's how Stranger of Paradise should have been. Instead, it's pretty much weird and timey-wimey the whole way through. Like, you get 3 hours into that game and you've already, like, you're already lost. Like, what's going on? Huh? I thought I was Garland. I thought this was supposed to be Final Fantasy 1 world. Why does everyone look neo-modern? This is weird. I don't like this. But whatever. It's a shame. I don't know why there's such little confidence in normal-ass high fantasy anymore. Why can't anyone just let fantasy be fantasy? Like, admittedly, even Final Fantasy can't help but shove a little bit of Magitech in there. But, like, at least it's only a little, and it's mostly warriors and heroes and dwarves and elves and magic and white mages, black mages, things like that. Like, at least it's still mostly that. It's just, you know, the Mirage Tower is secretly ancient technology that has robots, and there's mechs, and also there's some timey-wimey bullshit, you know, right at the end. I think that would have been fine. I don't know why everyone's so scared of fantasy all the time. Out my way! Whee! To Azisla! What is essentially Azisla. Okay, so the war mech is found here. We have to get to the bridge right before where we fight Tiamat. That long, thin bridge. That is where the war mech spawns. And so we just gotta go up and down, up and down, up and down until it spawns. And then once it does, we gotta win. Which is a whole other problem. Thankfully, we're using items to, like, do most of our magic right now, so we should remain fairly fresh. I don't think it'll be a problem. Things don't do enough damage to us that our healing helm can't fix, which is nice. Ugh. See, I would have thought this map just feels like a boss arena, doesn't it? Like, it just screams there's a boss here somewhere. In fact, I fully believe multiple Legend of Zelda maps look like this because there are bosses on them. And yet, this is just like a throwaway screen that has nothing on it. It just seems strange. It's like they planned for something to be here and then moved it somewhere else. I don't know, is that just me? Alright. Out of this place. Up to the second floor. God damn it. Out of my way, vampire lords. I don't even know what you're doing up here in Azisla anyway. Okay, here we are. This bridge. We're just gonna go up and down and up and down and up and down, and eventually we'll find the war mech. Man, how funny would it have been? Oh well. So how was your weekend, Ken? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you have a good time? Anything interesting going on over the weekend? And of course, anyone else who wants to share their weekend. This is an open invitation, not just for Ken, but specifically for Ken because he answered. Like, he's talking to chat, therefore, specifically Ken, but also everybody else. Yeah, it was pretty good. Nothing too interesting other than playing games with friends. Hell yeah, playing games with friends is great. Yeah, no, I had a fairly decent weekend. Again, my sibling went to a party and came back sick and then got me sick, and I'm feeling better already, but they're kind of down for the count, so I've had to, like, take care of things, but, you know. Outside of that, I've been having a great time. I got that Keep Digging game that, like, looks like an asset flip and kind of feels like one too. It's like one of the many, like, dig a hole clones. Except the big difference is that it's multiplayer, but I actually played it single player instead because I just felt like it. And that was pretty fun. Got to dig a hole. I 100%ed it as well. But they just came out with a big ol' update that gives us an entirely new hole to dig and makes it sort of like a survival crafter type thing where you have to, like, it's still digging a hole, but, like, you have HP and, like, as you dig down, like, you can actually die and drop your stuff, and you have to upgrade your gear and stuff. Like, it's not quite, it's more complicated. Like, the first one already had you upgrading gear in your shovel and, like, your wire to, like, go back up the hole and stuff. But this one had more stuff, like vacuums, armor, things of that nature. I've only just started, and because it gives you all this other stuff that you have to, like, take care of, it's not as relaxing. It's not as, I don't know. Because it takes energy to do basically everything, digging, climbing out of the hole, even dropping down and getting hurt will decrease your energy. Like, and because you can, like, die and drop your stuff, like, it gets more stressful. And because there's more things that you need to, like, work on and build and upgrade, there's blueprints to find and build and stuff. You find yourself running a bit more thin. So it's a different experience, to say the least. I also bought a new simulator game that I think we're going to be playing tomorrow. I was going to play Graveyard Keeper, and my plan is still to play Graveyard Keeper before Graveyard Keeper 2 comes out. But if you'll recall, we did that one game where we were like a graveyard manager simulator type game, where we managed a grave, but, like, there were zombies, and we had to, like, build traps and kill waves of zombies. But then we also could, like, raise zombies in the basement and stuff. And that game got me thinking about Graveyard Keeper in the first place. The new simulator that I got is kind of along the same vein, where it's like you're managing a hospital with zombie stuff, and you're, like, working on a zombie cure. And so I think that will be fun. And I think that will be a nice bridge to Graveyard Keeper. There's another game that's also similar to that, where it's like you're managing a shop in a zombie apocalypse. I kind of want to play that game too. But right now it's a little bit out of my price range. I gotta save up for it a little bit. So I'll play the Cure Simulator game. Maybe go straight to Graveyard Keeper. Might play the zombie shopkeeper game. I don't know. We'll see how we feel. But the ultimate goal is to eventually get to Graveyard Keeper and then hopefully beat Graveyard Keeper before Graveyard Keeper 2 comes out. Which all they've said for Graveyard Keeper 2 is that it's coming out this year, which does not say much. I hope that it's a full release and not an early access. I'm kind of sick of playing early access games, if I'm totally honest. I never really liked playing early access games. I always preferred playing those sorts of games when they're finally released, so my first impressions can be the intended first impressions, if that makes sense. I've always thought that way, but since I was getting into streaming, I was like, okay, well, I gotta play it while it's, more interesting, so I gotta play early access games. And that definitely has almost, I think, reinforced my initial opinion of that. I really would have rathered played games like Windrose and Ungrounded and what's that bug game? Grounded 2, and the other early access games that I've touched for a while. Like, I still think and frickin' what's it called? It's not Where There's a Will. That game that completely redesigned its entire premise. Like, its entire combat system got completely upended. And it absolutely killed my enthusiasm for it. Whoops, I've accidentally gone too far. No Rest for the Wicked? Question mark? I think that might be it. Like, I wish I had waited until that game was out. Like, as much fun as me and Cray had playing that game, and it was a lot of fun, do not get me wrong. I really enjoyed that game. I still think I probably would have preferred to have waited until it was out and then not had a previous impression that I'm going to now be comparing the finished product to. Either that, or I wish they would have, kept the old combat system and just gave us another one as additional option or something. Like, make 2 different games or do something. Like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me in World of Warcraft when they made Torghast and it was really, really fun and everybody really liked it, and then they completely redesigned it and it was trash. And they went with the trash one and they released with the trash one, and now all anyone has ever played is the trash one, except for the few people who played on the beta and got to actually experience when it was good. And it's like, man, why couldn't we have had both? Like, it's such a shame. But I feel like as much as, I don't actually dislike Torghast all that much. I kind of enjoy Torghast. But I feel like if I had played the original version and then got the crappy version, I would have liked it so much less. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't know. Maybe that's a weird opinion to have. But it's mine. So yeah, I'm hoping that Graveyard Keeper 2 just releases instead of going into early access. I get why early access is important for indie developers and stuff. I'm not saying anything against early access. It's just, personally speaking, I would rather have the intended gaming experience as my first impression. That's why I always play games on normal to start off with. It's like, what kind of a time do you want me to have? And then I'll manipulate it from there to have the game, the kind of time that I want to have. You know what I mean? I've got absolutely no problem with taking what you've made and altering it to suit my tastes. But first I want to know what you made. I think it's only fair. You don't start up Skyrim for the very first time already modded with 300 mods. Right? Same kind of premise. You want to know what's there first. You want to know what's intended first. That's another reason why I really like playing these really, really old games, because they've been out forever. They are as complete as they'll ever be. No more updates, no more DLCs, no more... In fact, most of them don't even have a concept of updates or DLCs. They released in their properly finished form. At most, maybe they got a couple of updates to, like, bug fix. Or, like, you know, they got re-released with updated graphics and some weird fixes. Like this game. Like, this game has been re-released multiple times. Multiple times. Like, it had the NES version, the SNES version, it had the PlayStation 1 version, it had the GBA version, and now the Pixel Remaster. So it's got lots of different versions of itself, but it's all got that main core, like, this is what the game is supposed to be aspect to it. No live service that takes several years to reach complete status. Yeah, and then immediately goes offline and then you can never play the game again. Fuck that nonsense. It's so stupid. It's like, is it too much to ask that, you know, what you give me is the intended gaming experience that you want me to have? Instead of, oh, here's like little piecemeal, here's little, like... Oh, we'll finish the game eventually, but here's like a little taste, and if we decide that we're going to completely change everything about the game, you just kind of have to deal with it. None of that. Although, I will say, like, some good things come out of stuff like that. Like, bugs that turn into features, or quirks that become canon, you know, little things like that are always fun. I think Mindustry had a lot of that. I've never played Mindustry. I really want to. It seems like something that would be totally up my alley. I've just never gone around to it. But I've been told that there's a lot of things like that in it, where during the early access, a lot of things happened that sort of became canon. Sort of became part of the story, part of the game, even though it was unintentional. And I think that's cool. And being there for that experience was probably really, really neat. Like, oh, I was there when blankety blank. But I still think getting the intended experience is more important. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I've also just always been against FOMO and limited time, blah, 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 blah. I remember when Markiplier was doing that, that event channel thing, Unus Annus or whatever it was. I hated that premise. In fact, I really didn't like anything about Unus Annus. Because... what do you mean? You're gonna put something on the internet, and you're gonna, like, nourish it, and, like, take care of it, and, advertise and do all that stuff for it for a year, and then just, like, somehow magically completely remove it all from the internet. Impossible. I mean, one, impossible, because even today, I still can find some Unus Annus stuff, just not all of it. And the fact that I can't have all of it, and you've intentionally, like, removed content and taken it away and made it limited time, I think flies in the face of everything the internet stood for. I don't like it as a premise. It's like, oh, they want to treat it like it's like a limited time event. Like, it's a concert that you go to and you remember fondly, but you can never actually experience again. Fuck that shit, man. Are you out of your fucking mind? This is the internet. Like, imagine a game comes out and it's like, you can play it exactly once, and then as soon as you end the game, it deletes itself off of the hard drive and it creates a program that if you ever try to reinstall a new version of the program, it'll automatically eat it like a virus. And you can never, ever, ever play that game again. Ever. That would be awful. That would be terrible. That would be the worst. Especially if it was good. Like, what a terrible idea. What a horrible thing. I don't like it. So yeah, I did. And I mean, it doesn't help that some things like are like that by accident, and like you can never experience certain things ever again. Like classic Doctor Who. There are parts of that show that just don't exist anymore. They got burned up in a fire and they got taped over because no one really thought about any sort of media preservation during the time, and now whole storylines are just gone. Fucking sucks, man. As a fan of Doctor Who, like that's absolutely horrible. And like people work so hard to like recreate it and bring some of it back, but like it'll never be the same as it was. And that's terrible. Why would you do that on purpose? I hate that. And that's also why I really like playing old expansions in MMOs. Like going back and completing old expansions, experiencing that old content in its completed form, and like doing all the stuff is so much more fun to me than playing the new stuff, playing like the new expansion, the new developing story, all that stuff. For one thing, because it's not finished yet. And you're gonna have to wait like 4 months to get just the next part of the story. Not even the rest of the story, just the next part of the story. You're gonna have to wait 2 years to get the full story. Like, oh my god. I don't know how people put up with it. I mean, there's a reason why I've waited to do the new Hildebrand storyline in Dawn Trail. It's because I don't want to have to stop partway through. What, like, it feels terrible. Imagine being given a book, like a full-ass novel, and then you get halfway through it and it's just blank pages. And you're like, what? Where's the rest of it? And then it's like, oh, I actually haven't finished writing it yet. Even though you bought it and paid for it, I'm not done with it. So, sorry. You know, give me a couple years, and I'll eventually finish the story for you. It's not the same thing as like reaching the end of a story, and like, oh, there's a sequel book or anything. No, it's like you're in the middle of the book, of the story, and the rest of it's just missing, and you, it's like. That's awful. I hate it. I was legitimately very tempted to, like, in Dawn Trail, not play Dawn Trail until we reach 7.5. Because at least then, there's only just this little tiny bit right at the end that I would have to wait for, and then the new expansion comes out. I ended up not doing that. But, like, golly. The wait between patches, especially when they, like, ended on a cliffhanger and stuff, is just like, you forget things. Like, it doesn't have the impact that it would if you just played it all the way through. It's annoying. I don't like it. Bitch, bitch, whine, whine, moan, moan. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm trying to keep the conversation going while I'm just running back and forth. And I kind of got too into it. I feel like in the Stanley Parable when it's like, whoa, 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 hold on. That got a little weird back there. Why don't we move on? I would like to apologize for turning what should have been a 2-minute tirade into an hour-long tirade. See? That looks like an air elemental. Remember we were back in the water temple and they used that exact same model for the water elemental, and I'm like, that doesn't look like a water elemental. That looks like a wind elemental. Well, here, now it is. I do think it's interesting how limited they are with the sprites in this game. Like, the fact that we, like, at the very beginning of the game, you cross the bridge out of Cornelia, and you're on your way to Provoca, and you're already 10% of the way through the bestiary because there's just not that many variations on the enemies. For a Final Fantasy game, I think is so interesting. I don't think you could get away with that, like, anymore, but they pull it off here. Like, I never really felt like the variation of enemies was small. You know what I mean? I never really felt that way. Like, yeah, you'd go to, like, different zones and you still run into, like, similar or even the same enemies. But for some reason, it just didn't feel like a big deal. Like, even now, we're fighting the same Flan enemies that we were fighting back in Mount Gulg, and even in the Earth Cavern, heck, in the Poison Cavern to go get, like, Askalos's crown. We were fighting 2 different versions of the Flan in that one cave. And we're still fighting Flan, and it's like, I don't know, it just didn't really cross my mind. And I think that's neat. Man, this Warmech really is very elusive. This is why I said, unsure if we're doing Final Fantasy 2 today. I would like to. All we have to do is run into that one enemy. I think someone tried to do the math on it, and they said that the Warmech has a 1 in 62, 64, something like that, chance to appear. Which you think in your head is like, okay, so 1 in every 64 fights is going to be the Warmech. But that's not actually how probabilities work. Because that denotes a guaranteed success, which isn't how that works. Oh, God damn it. Did it again. I hope that's not fucking with it. I don't think it is. By the way, sorry if me munching on pistachios sounds annoying. I just like the pistachios. They're tasty. I also have some chocolate-covered cherries. They're good for you. I wonder if it's specifically the narrow bridge part, but I don't think this game does that. I think it's based on what screen you're on. not where on the screen. Although saying that, the world map is one screen, so I guess I shouldn't say that. It's absolutely smart enough to think about things like that. I just don't know if it is thinking about that on this screen. Like, if I did this, would this give me a higher chance of running into it? I don't know. Moments like this, I wish there was a proper fast forward button. What the hell? How am I poisoned? It shouldn't be possible for me to be poisoned. I have the ribbon on. I'm immune to all status effects. How did this happen? Yeah, I've got the ribbon on. It guards against status effects. It shouldn't be possible. Whatever. I think that's the very first time in this entire game I've been poisoned. By the way, I just had a weird connection glitch with the chat. Is everything okay? Is the stream going okay? Sound good, visuals good, chat good? We good? Just want to make sure. I've never had it disconnect me like that before. I might have to close the chat and open it again. Nothing. Alright, let's do this then. Okay. Ha. How exactly does a flan run away? It's a pudding. Oh hey, the Diabolo's triple chain is going out. Ha. Hello, people! You know, I should really come up with some sort of, an introduction thing. It's like, hello, I am this, I do this, I am this person. But I'm, too stupid. Hello, my name is Too Stupid. I think, therefore I am. Stupid. Ay. What is it? Is you are what you eat, and right now I'm eating nuts. Anyway, we're on the hunt for the frickin' war mech. Come join us if you just want to like chat for a while and watch me go up and down this frickin' bridge. If we can find it, we'll move on to Final Fantasy 2. Which would be great. I would love that. But we have dedicated today to finding the war mech. It will happen, mark my whiff. Nothing. Oh, excuse me. There's those rare burps. I'm fairly certain this is the right screen. See, this is what low spawn rates does to people. It's like, am I on the right screen? Am I screwing something up by doing a weird thing? What's going on here? Is it only on a certain part of the map? I do this to myself all the frickin' time. I would spend, like, hours questioning myself, being like, I must be doing something incorrect. And then it spawns, and I'm like, oh no, I guess I'm just unlucky. The first time you run up the stairs in Super Mario 64? Yeah! Well, actually, to be fair, I had a very different experience with that because I'm a natural completionist. And so I already had more than enough stars the very first time I got up to the second floor. Like, you'd be surprised how many stars there are on the first floor. Like, I had enough stars to go fight the Bowser in the basement by the time I went to the basement. So I actually didn't know at first that the stairs even did that, and I assumed that someone else had broken the game. When I saw someone else having that happen to them, I'm like, I just didn't run into that. And I was so surprised that they did that because I already had enough stars to move forward. I didn't know the stairs did that at first. As a kid, I kept thinking I was making progress if I just ran a little bit more, only to be ultra confused when I went back down, realizing how little time it took. That is great. I always thought that in the first floor where the picture slides back to reveal the hole, I always thought that you could catch the painting and that you'd go to a different version of the water level if you just got there sooner, and that there was a way to get by the trap door. No such luck, obviously, but you know. Diddy Kong Racing also did that to me, because my dad told me what happened before I ever reached the bit where the lighthouse turns into a rocket ship, and I did not believe him. I thought he was lying to me. It's like, the lighthouse turns into a rocket ship? The war mech! We found it! Alright, shut up! Oh, God. Okay. That snuck up on me. Now we have to beat it and win. Right. So here's what we're gonna do. Attack it. Protera. Invisra. Haste. See, haste is so strong. And now we just temper the shit out of him. Because there's no upper limit. Okay, we're going to heal. We're going to temper, and then we're going to temper again. Jesus! That's with Protera on, and Invisra. I don't think normal heal is gonna do it. Alright, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch it, watch it, watch, watch, watch. Ha! I couldn't have planned that better if I tried. Yeah, haste and temper. Temper has no upper limit. Haste doubles your number of attacks. Basic attack, almost 2,000 damage. Killed the war mech in 2 hits. Oh. Oh, fuck. That's so funny. Yay, the Master of One! Earned all achievements. Holy shit. There we go. We did it. Can't believe you just disrespected that rare mob like that. That was so fucking funny. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to go save. And then I'm going to just, like, off stream, on stream, so that we can, like, put a clear line. This is the end of part 4 for Final Fantasy 1. We are now going to start Final Fantasy 2. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, look, there's the Allosaurus. Holy shit. Oh, that was too funny. Alright, I'm gonna go save at Corneria, just because it feels nice to, you know, end it where we began, you know? Okay. Save. No, not that one. This one. Oh my god. Okay. Look at my gill! Look at my gill! It capped my gill! that fucking asshole capped my gill! Bottom left. Oh no, you can't see it. Ah, fuck it. Hold on, I fix it. Hold on, I fix. Hold on. Boot, doot. And what if I just did like, nah. Look. He capped my gill. Oh, fuck me. Alright. Okay. Ending stream. We completed Final Fantasy 1. We're awesome. We're great at video games. Huzzah for us. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes while I set everything up. BRB. Oh, God. Ah!